Hello and welcome to Tempo Check, baby. Tempo Check 1 2. I'm your host, Cathryn Niker.
And I'm your other host, Freddie Rivas. What's up? What is good? We like to tell you all the most fun stuff off the top, which is follow us on all of our social media accounts at the Pickup WNBA Podcast.
Please and thank you.
We're talking TikTok, we're talking YouTube, we're talking Instagram. The likes, the follows, the subscribes, the different forms of retweeting you can do, they all matter. Spotify, Apple, give us some good reviews. If you're in America, also do that because they're different there. If you're in Australia, they probably have a different iTunes too. Fire away. Thank you so much for everyone who does contribute.
Is it even still called iTunes?
No, that's how old I am. It's Apple.
Yeah,
no one says iTunes.
We're elder millennials.
Yeah, we're. I mean, but even elder millennials don't really say that. We have a special guest. You know him probably already. Darren Menezes. Darren, what's up?
Hello, how's it going, guys? Good to be
Great
here.
to have you. So we had a really fun week this past week with the Tempo. This podcast is media credentialed to be at games, to be at training camp, to be at media day. I got to go to a few training camp days, and Darren was, God bless you, Darren, was able to step in for Freddie and I to do media day, which was absolutely wild. Plus, we've had our first preseason game. Really, really exciting stuff. I'll start quickly just to talk a bit about training camp. It was a week long. They were at the U of T, University of Toronto campus, working out. We didn't get to see in depth their practice. I feel like that was something that Freddie and I had access to a few years ago when there was a Sky Lynx preseason game here. Like we got to see them like the Lynx, especially like working with like their advanced analytics and them throwing up shots and trying to get like certain numbers and all of that. This time, and maybe that's just due to the growth of the league, that was closed off, but we had the opportunity to talk to players and coaches after the fact. I talked last week about being able to chat with Sandy Brondello. The one thing I will say about the roster, how I feel about the roster is this. I think we were kind of chatting a bit before we started recording that, I manage your expectations. I think this team is going to be not the best team, but I think this team's going to be really scrappy. Like even we know Marina Mabry to be the scrappy player, but in training camp, like Kiki Rice was being asked about her like strength and her conditioning and her ability to play that way also.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're going to get a lot of that. Probably because the offense might be a little here, touch and go. I think they're going to try and run and hit a lot of fast breaks, and hit a lot of threes, transition threes. There was a lot of talk about buying into Sandy's system, which Kia Nurse and Nayara Sabali already have familiarity with. The other thing I can kind of reveal is that like Sandy is really hoping that Nayara Sabali has like a bit of a leap this year because she's been injured quite a bit in the past. She's a starter on this team. She's the center on this team. So it's going to be a huge opportunity for her. So that's another thing that I would look out for as Tempo fans is like, what's she going to be like as a starter? Do we see her numbers increase across the board? I think that's like the main, like, I don't know. I would say out of all the players, that would be like the main thing to look out for off the top. So that's kind of my general overall assessment from training camp. And we'll see, I think certain teams will match up with better than others.
Okay, Catherine, I have a vibe question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, we're talking about the team. How good is the team going to be, right? Which we will see, and we don't fully know. Can you kind of paint the picture for people who don't know what a training camp is like, right? So you show up. Are you like how close are you, right? Like I know what you mean. We're not seeing like deep analytics, but like, Are you on like bleachers super far away? Can you hear the players yelling at each other? Or is there like coaching huddles? Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
So we
are you
don't get to be in the gym. Like, we don't
okay?
get
So
to
you're
observe it at all. But
gotcha.
at the end, they let us in the gym and we're just kind of standing off to the side. And at that point, there's just like a little bit of like scrimmage happening before they wrap it up. So I can't tell you the exact vibe in practice because they've kept that private.
I mean, if I can just jump in here, I got to go to one of these, and it,
Mhm.
it did seem like we were on the court for sure, and we got to see like the ending of the practice and all that.
Mhm.
But it was also like it seemed a bit separate, like the way you guys were kind of unsure who you even got to interview at the end there. It
Mhm.
seemed a bit like kind of up in the air, which kind of makes I'm sure media has to keep their questions generic because you just don't know who's going to come to the
Yeah, or you
microphones
gotta
or
plan
whatever.
for everybody and just
Yeah,
automatically know, like, what your
Gotcha.
angle is.
yeah, so it did seem like not tense or anything, but it was like kind of like, oh man, who are we gonna get, who are we gonna get, so you can
Mhm.
kind of like be a little bit ready, and it kind of I'm sure it throws you guys off just a bit about
Yeah,
that.
'cause there was 2 to 3 people available each day, and you didn't
Mhm,
know until we were there or, like, until we were just about ready to talk to them.
And so,
mhm.
So,
what days did you get to go again? You got to go on Tuesday,
I went Tuesday, Friday, Saturday.
Friday, Saturday. And then
So, like, midweek and then the last 2 days of training camp.
would you say like like the flow of the day the same every day you went, or
Yeah, as
like
media,
that's
the
sort of the
flow
or
was the same, yeah.
that's the order of business? Like,
Yeah.
and how about for you, Darren? Just kind of like you're showing up and then you're like,
Yeah, I mean, I was just kind of it was kind of an introductory for me to just kind of show up and see what was going on and kind of meeting the other media people as well. But also, yeah, you just kind of see the end of them just not even working on plays necessarily, kind of scrimmaging. It
mhm,
seems with like, they have the guys playing against them. I don't know
yep.
who they are, like a practice squad, I guess you would say.
They
So
need their own documentary, by the way.
it's always a thing, but
It is.
there was like I don't know them, but I just know like, there's some like superstars. Like I know Paige Beckers kind of famously loves like cooking these guys. So I'm sure it's like a thing in most practices where they really relish in just like destroying these guys.
Like,
But
do these guys get like big injuries? Like, are
I'm
you
I don't
like
know if they're
okay?
I don't know if they're
Probably.
necessarily.
Like,
I did see like someone fall. I remember that, and I was just like, "Oh, someone fell," and it seemed like everything just stopped. And it's just like, "Hey, just relax a bit." Like it's just
Yeah,
I,
yeah, yeah.
accidents happen, but you definitely these guys are just like play hard, but don't be stupid kind of thing.
I
Like
would
it is
if
just a
I would tear
practice.
my Achilles if I was one of those guys.
Yeah, I mean
You know what I mean?
they're younger guys.
Yeah,
Like
fair enough. I guess they're not like we're searching for 40-year-old
yeah,
men.
yeah. They
Um,
they are like, proper athletes, but
yeah, I guess they're
they're
also
definitely
athletes.
stretching
Fair
it
enough.
out.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I love
you
that.
saw them scrimmaging and then they're doing their shooting stuff. And I don't know if you saw like a video of like Kiki Rice, maybe Aaliyah Nye and Kia Nurse. Maybe they hit a like a three in a row or something, and they started jumping in a circle. That was like the practice we went
Oh,
to.
cool, cool.
So
Oh,
it was
that's
like,
fun.
yeah, it was a fun thing to see of them just just having fun shooting around.
Sweet.
So yeah, training camp seemed cool though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
and then
is.
Darren, you got to go to media day, so tell us what media day was like
Mhm.
for you and for the
Yeah,
team.
yeah, like I'm just a comic like you guys. I'm very uneducated as well when it comes to this stuff, but
Oh, stop.
I went in. No, actually I have a PhD, but like shut up. Um no,
Wow.
I went in there and it was very like I was kind of intimidated mostly because um it's like there is like a shock to it of just seeing these players in real life. Like, if you
Yeah.
just see like it's like a celebrity sighting, really, when you know them, and then you go into a room with them and you're just like, oh yeah, I know them. Like you try to be cool, but really you
Honestly, this
can't
is
be.
why I thought of you to go for us because I knew you would appreciate it,
I did,
honestly.
I very much did.
Yeah,
And I was
I
just
mean,
like
can I say it is cool?
it's very cool.
Yeah.
Like I was like telling everyone I was doing it, and I was like very excited about going and stuff like that. So like yeah, going for it, it's essentially we're just sitting in on press conferences all day, which is just like they started off with the coaches.
Mhm.
Sandy and Monica were first up, and then and then it went to uh, Sykes and Mabry, and then
Yep.
so on, so on. And it was, yeah, basically just taking questions, pretty basic questions, some fun ones. But I think the biggest thing that stood out for me was just like how well spoken everyone was. And it does have to do with them just being like thoughtful people
Yeah.
and like taking their time. It's like a fun press conference also. It's not like after a game or something where they
Right.
screwed up or something. So they were like they love talking about, the city and, playing on a
Mhm.
new team and all that. But
Yeah,
because
it's pretty cheerful vibes right now.
yeah, exactly. So it was all fun and all that, but it's just like such a difference between like, we're so used to seeing like men's teams and like how quickly they just want to get the heck out of there kind of thing. So it was nice to
Right.
see them just being like well spoken, like thoughtful individuals. And then you do have to think about the fact that the women's teams are all 4 years in university. These are like D1 top schools. And I do feel that makes a difference because they're getting this kind of attention. Like Kiki Rice had 4 years of UCLA. I don't know if it's four
Mhm.
years she was there, but
Mhm.
at least the championship, like she had so much attention. It was like being on a top WNBA team, right? The amount of
Oh, they're already celebrities,
yeah,
like,
so
for sure, like,
I
on
was thinking
campus
about
and
that, like how young she is, but like it's not intimidating for her at all
not
because
at all,
she's
yeah.
just been there and all that. So yeah, you just kind of sit in there and it was, pretty good just listening to all of them telling their stories and whatever. They're all excited and they had like they were doing their photos and all that. So they're all like, getting glammed up before they came out and doing their
Mhm.
headshots, doing their promo shots and all that. So yeah, it was really cool. I really like another thing was, there was a few times they were just talking about, like Slim and Mabry were talking about being the $1 million backcourt, the first ones ever, and they were just talking about how they're proud of it, and they were kind of like betting on yourself and like speaking on like why not us, stuff like that, which I thought was great. Like these confident people that are like why not us, like who are you, like kind of thing. Like
Mhm.
of course we would get paid that, and yeah, there was a few like Temmie. A thing that stood out was Temmie. She was
Mhm.
talking about someone brought up a question for her was about Masai, and she has like she's from Nigeria, and
Right.
she was kind of talking about like how it kind of like she was kind of just taking the questions like pretty calmly, and when
Yeah.
someone asked her about Masai, it seemed like she just kind of lit up. It really showed like
I
how
mean,
much, and
we
like
love
for
Masai.
yeah, and for a room of individuals who all love Masai, it seemed like just sunshine was in that room after that,
Aw.
just that question. And she just like, oh my God, like I was so happy. Like you guys probably heard it, like her just talking about him, like being the principal owner, one of the principal owners, and like just like being around him and like, having his presence around the team is such a positive thing. So it's like, it's good to have that point of view of being like, it's not just us, like, it's in the basketball culture that he's so like loved and beloved, and so it was especially someone coming from Nigeria. She has such a great connection to him, and yeah, it was just nice to hear all their stories and everything.
Yeah, I was able to catch a bunch of it on Zoom, and I think
Hmm.
the timing seemed to fall off after the Marina Mabry, Brittany Sykes presser. Like,
Yeah.
it was like all sort of going to schedule, but then to your point about it being like thoughtful, I think that's one thing me and Catherine have really, I don't
Hmm.
want to speak for you, Catherine, but like reflected on a lot. And we're just blown away when we got to do that first preseason game at our access, how approachable they were, how
Hmm.
thoughtful these players are. And it's my belief that they are so into selling the product and the game that
Yeah.
already is huge, right? In comparison to the men, of course. And
Hmm.
then also on top of that, like your 4-year university degree thing that adds up with something that that we heard from Natasha Cloud, like during the CBA.
Yeah.
And she talked about like, hey, a lot of us have our like degrees in economics. So like
Mhm.
when we're bargaining for our future here, we're pretty well versed in what's behind the scenes. And I think that says a lot about like the type of players that are coming in. At least American players are, going through 4 years of school, and then
Yeah.
it's not the one and done or the two and done scenario. Um, I have a question for you, especially with like the back half pressers. Did anyone sort of stand out to you as like being like particularly like funny or charismatic? Like obviously it's a very,
Oh
you
my
know, like
gosh.
like like almost like rote in a sense, like they're getting a lot of the same questions. But were you sort of like, this person is charming and this person is going to be good for a soundbite?
I mean, quite a few of them for sure. Like for sure, Slim as well as Temmie, as well as Mabry as well. But Kia Nurse, of course, like
Yes, Kia
Yeah,
Nurse
the
for sure.
media
so
training with Kia Nurse really comes through.
incredible.
Yeah.
Like, and she knows it too. Like she commented on herself being like she said a few times, I'm a yapper. Like she not only was well spoken, but just enjoyed being in the room. She enjoyed taking questions. She very much is smart enough to understand she is not only like the face of women's basketball in Canada, but like might even be the face of basketball, being as a player and an analysis person,
Yeah, for
on
sure.
TV. So she's so recognizable in Canada, and she just like is okay taking that on too, which is really great to see. And she was like, she loved all the questions, and you can tell also like Aaliyah and I talked about it. I think Izzy even commented on it, just like how much it seems like the whole team really loves Kia. So you can already
Yeah.
see how much is
That's
paying
awesome.
off just having her on the team. And
She's
like,
a spiritual leader, if that makes sense, of the
yeah,
team.
yeah.
Definitely.
And she talked about that as well, like kind of like, I like talking with people. I like doing one-on-ones if people want to chat, whatever. If people like, and like Niara was talking about the streaming thing and all that, how she asked
Mm.
Kia about that. Like
The
everyone's just kind of,
streaming thing. It's
yeah,
already killing me.
that became a whole other
It's
thing.
already there. Like,
But
yeah, like, oh god, I have so many wounds from like the passport stuff and the streaming stuff, like
the
the
streaming
downside of Canada. I'm always like, ooh.
the streaming thing was weird because I'm like, in America, maybe not in basketball, but like I'm pretty sure like in their football thing, it was like every single TV channel has its own games kind of thing. It's not just like we have TSN and Sportsnet, which is like just two, but they have like 10. So I don't know. Like sometimes they have YouTube games, sometimes they have Amazon Prime games, sometimes they have
So that'll
ESPN
happen here
games.
too.
Like, yeah, eventually, but like we're not there yet. Like I think we're pretty much TSN Sportsnet for these games, probably.
For the tempo games, yeah, that's probably
Yeah.
true. Speaking of games, we had
Yes.
our first preseason game.
Mhm.
Exciting stuff. I felt the emotions in the arena, even though it was a preseason game. The Tempo did lose to the Connecticut Sun, 83-78. It feels like the highlight was Kia Nurse being the first Tempo player to score a basket, and for that to be
Mhm.
a Canadian, which was really fun. Also, on the Connecticut Sun side, we had Aaliyah Edwards, fellow Canadian, getting to play in Toronto for the first time. I feel like the main takeaway from this game was vibes. It
Mhm.
is preseason. We do have some players that have been cut. We have another preseason game happening on Friday. So the roster is still shaping out. Um, like I said before, it's gonna be gritty, and it's gonna be a lot of transition threes when we can get them. Like, that was kind of
Mhm.
my sort of takeaway from the preseason game, but also everybody's still learning, and I feel like as the season progresses, we're just gonna get more and more, in sync from there. But also really on a fan note, really cool to see Brittany Griner playing in Toronto, gotta say.
Absolutely.
As people who were very, like, bring Brittany Griner home, and that was
Yeah.
like 9 months of this podcast.
It's seriously
on the pickup. It was just on a fan note, it was really cool to see.
It was
her.
me and Cathryn being like, "Are we journalists? Yes, we're journalists."
Like, are we foreign affairs people now? Like, and there's a lot of that.
Like from a trivia question too, it's gonna be like who scored the first bucket in a tempo game, and people are gonna be like Kia Nurse, and it's gonna be like actually
that's
Brittany
their
Griner.
goal. That it feels like that's the Tempo's goal. They want to be the answer to a lot of trivia. Who is the first millionaire WNBA player? Marina Mabrey. That's a great trivia question. Oh, who was the first millionaire backcourt? Oh, it's Marina Mabrey and Brittany Sykes. Oh, who was the first player to score a Tempo point? Like, it's all about the trivia right now.
I love it. Just unafraid of making a statement.
Yeah.
I will say just on the note of cuts. So the cuts are Darren Mabrey, Madison Rachi, and Christy Wallace. I think if you're unfamiliar with like how training camp works in the W, these are just it's such an elite league. It's like the most elite league. There's just not a lot of spots. Like there's more cuts coming. I think it's gonna be about 5 more, something like that.
Yeah.
So these players are great. Like they're good players, and it sucks. So shout out to them. I'll say from, we talked a little bit about before we started recording that like it's preseason, right? So it's so hard to like make sense of what is what, right? We have like our main players sitting, right? So there's no like rotation stuff. I do think in preseason you sometimes see standout players, and I think Lexi Held, people were already high on her, and she showed out. I think she was the best
Great
tempo.
point. Yeah,
she was the best tempo player by far. And she had a hot shooting night, 5 for 8 from 3. But I think like she was aggressive. She was like attacking constantly. And then the other standout thing to me, and like obviously Izzy Harrison wasn't playing, but we are a small team, and like we'll see what happens there. But
listen, I want to make a bold prediction.
Sure.
And that it maybe prediction is too extreme. I'll just say this. If one day this season Asia Wilson has a career high.
Oh no.
And it happens to be against the Tempo, I'm not going to be surprised.
Yeah, we're not.
That's all I'm going to say. I'm just not going to be surprised.
If
that happens, everyone.
Even on the broadcast, they were like, this team does have some size issues, and the East is you'll be going up against some players like Brianna Stewart. I'm like, oh yeah, Brianna Stewart and Jonquel Jones on the same team. Their eyes are going to be like, this is like barbecue chicken.
Cooked.
I mean, we're gonna see. We're still obviously like we're new to this as Tempo fans, fans in general in Toronto. But the Liberty are on a different level, and we can say that going into the season. That we all know that that we're not going to be. This is going to be like when the Raptors beat the Jordan Bulls kind of situation. Like we're going to celebrate.
Yeah,
the
I don't
same
think
way.
they're at the strip clubs the same way as Michael Jordan was in the 90s. I don't think we're going to have that kind of luck.
I will also say, I think plus minus is a stat you got to take with a grain of salt. Like, not one stat does anything, but just sort of like stat watching here. In a game where you lose, Aaliyah Nye's plus 19 is standing out to me. Like, because I'm like, hold on. When you were on the court, like things were going very well. So
she has a nice shot. Also, I will say the Tempo had the lead for like, a few times in that game.
Yes,
like they just kind of blew it. They blew it in the fourth quarter. So
which is also fine for
will be a competitive matchup for us.
What's that?
Yeah.
Sorry,
the Sun will be a competitive matchup for us throughout the season. I mean, yes, they have Brittany Griner, but these are the last years of her career, and I don't know how many minutes she'll have in these games, but
I better. To your point, I hope we can beat the Sun, because the Sun, the Fire, like these are going to be some of the worst teams in the league. So
we're hoping maybe 5th, 6th last in the league or something like that.
Yeah.
And compete level, I think they want to see. I don't know if you guys saw this. The Kia Nurse, who is it? Rochi, I forgot her name already.
Rachi?
Rachi, yeah. When the inbounds thing, when they both were out of bounds, and then they both stepped inbounds, and then they're just like, "You guys can't. You don't know what you're doing." Then they showed Sandy's face, and she's just like, "Let's get this game. Let's just get this game over."
Yeah.
Yeah, there was actually a good moment where they're like, "It's just preseason," and they're like, "Not for Sandy." And they showed Sandy, and she was going nuts, and I was like,
yeah.
I love a coach that just and also like this is a lot of like data for them. Right.
Yes,
And
of
like I
course.
know for us, it's sort of like, well, yeah, whatever. It's like first game, who cares? It's like preseason. But like, 3 players played this game and got cut.
Mhm.
Like I'm watching that game. Christy Wallace is hitting shots. So it's like seeing her.
There was a lot on the line for a lot of players.
And she got cut. So I'm like, man, this is like. Yeah, and then there's obviously still a couple players who are still playing overseas who haven't even joined the team yet. So we'll see what happens there. But
Alleman. I guess Julie Alleman's not even here yet, right? So
yeah, she's not. Well, I don't know if you have any parting shots, but I want to say, Darren, welcome. Thanks for stepping into the media role
buddy,
for us.
Thank you.
Yeah,
taking some videos, getting up close.
Yes, helping us with our socials.
Feeling that celebrity heat.
Yes. Yeah, I'm excited for the games. You guys are going to go to some games. I'm going to go to some games, and
between the 3 of us, we're trying to go to every game.
We're trying to go to most games, yeah. But we'll be watching if we're not there.
Definitely. Right. Well, guys, let's wrap it up there. Darren, thank you so much for joining us. Appreciate you. I'm sure you'll be back on the pod again at some point. Let us know what you're up to and where people can find you on the internets.
Oh yeah, I do TikTok stuff, which is a lot of rambling, but it's Darren Likes Sports. I do that. I do a podcast called Go Sports with the Doiji Boys with me and my friend Zach. And those are the important ones. You can just check out those.
Yeah, man, you got to prioritize. Those are the important ones. Everyone, thank you so much for listening and tuning in. The Pickup WNBA pod, both episodes dropping same day. So if you're catching this one first, catch the Pickup. We're going to be doing player power rankings and all that good stuff. Thank you again. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we will catch you next time.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Peace.
Bye.